It is now he wants to wake up because a very dark man, you know, somebody doing one kind of skit or one kind of revelation to get, some kind of followership and traction. He's not the one revealing the things that would now make us as...
No. It is wrong. It is very, very wrong for you to describe the very dark man as a mere skit maker, as a skit maker that is trying to chase followers. It is very, very wrong. It is very, very wrong. Very Dark Man is much more than that. We know what Very Dark Man stands for. We know what he has done. We know how he has helped to sanitize the society through his various campaigns. We know what he did with NAFDAC in trying to expose fake products and to make sure that these fake products are banned. And we know the actions that followed because of him. And we know what NAFDAC did, how NAFDAC had banned some fake products because of him. Now, this is what the work of the media is supposed to be. What the media house is supposed to do that they are not doing. That is because the media now has been politicized. Yes, the media has been politicized. So anything that affects the masses is not their concern. The media is for the elite. It's for the high and mighty, the rich. The media is not for the poor. Thank God for social media. At least the poor now has a voice. The poor can now speak. The downtrodden can speak. But whenever they speak, the elites are not happy. Yes, the elites are not happy. Now, this barrister Tietie, he works with a media house. And something that his media house cannot do, something they have not been able to do, and somebody is doing it, an individual is doing it through the help of social media, through the help of his platform, and you are calling him a skit maker. I think this is derogatory. I tell you, Very Dark Man is not a skit maker. Yes, he's a content creator, but not just a regular content creator. Somebody that is using his platform to sanitize the society. Somebody that is using his platform to help so many people. We know cases that Very Dark Man. In case you don't know, maybe you are not following, go and check out the cases he has handled. Go and check them out. Respect for. It does not really matter where he's coming from. You know, in Nigeria, there's a class war between the poor and the rich. Whenever the poor is trying to rise, the rich will do everything possible to suppress him. And this is a man that is fighting the ill of the society. Especially, they have seen that he's fighting the elites, the rich, and what they are doing wrong. And people are now coming out to criticize him, to say he's not doing the right thing. My dear, Very Dark Man means a lot to the average man out there. He's a voice to the voiceless. He's a helper to the helpless. We know a number of people he has helped from his meager income or whatever he earns at the end of the month through the business he does, whatever he does. I don't know. We see how he has helped. Now, how many people have these celebrities helped? How many people, the politicians, how many people have they helped? Those we voted for, even those that voted for them, have they been able to deliver on their promises? And you belong to the elite, so I understand where you are coming from. I understand why you will not be happy with what Very Dark Man is doing. I understand why you use such statements to describe Very Dark Man, because it's not part of you. It's not part of you, and you don't understand why the masses are singing his praise. You describe Very Dark Man as a mere skit maker. Even if it's a skit maker, what is wrong with skit making? If you are using your skit to change the society, if you are using your skit for the betterment of the people, what is wrong with it? What is wrong with it? Why will you give him such description? Nobody is above mistake. Yes, he might have made mistake in one way or the other because he's human. We all make mistakes, but we must commend his effort. We must commend the peaceful revolution he's bringing into the system. Because of this, what he published now, the Minister of Interior has swung into action, and investigations are carried out. What else do we need in a country? Oh, you said a journalist has done it before, gone for undercover mission, and he has said something like this before, but nothing was done. And now this person you look at as a mere content creator, a mere skit maker, is doing similar thing, and everybody's responding to it. The authorities are responding to it. So what do you expect us to do? Is it not to commend him and also commend the minister that has swung into action? Please, I'm going to drop the full video for you. Just watch this video, drop your comments on the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel. Please help me grow this channel by subscribing. Thank you and God bless you.
Joining me now to discuss probe further into the alleged confession of bribery by Idris Okuneye, also known as Bobrisky, against some immigration EFCC officials, is legal practitioner Frank Tietie and a rights analyst. Thank you very much for joining us. So quite a number of cases, issues involved in this particular matter. Let's take it one by one. What is the most fundamental issue at play here? Is it a case of defamation or what exactly? The issue of bribery and all of that?
I think it's a case of national self-deception, where a minister will pretend that he didn't know that this has been the description of the situation in Nigerian correctional centers, Nigerian prisons. I mean, or does he think that it is by swearing to God that people will believe him? Nigerians believe that big men, whenever they are sentenced, don't go to prison, and that they have special treatments. You know, apart two major pointers to this. Right. Apart from the investigative journalistic work of Fisai Osuwambo, who actually, I think he should be an international and national award-winning journalist for that kind of, undercover, investigative journalism he did by pretending to be a criminal who was arrested and then he went to prison, and then thereby exposing, documenting and exposing the horrendous state of our criminal justice system, and we pretended that it didn't exist, and that was in 2019. To date, we didn't do anything, and then we have a minister who wants to say that it is now he wants to wake up because a very dark man, somebody doing one kind of skit or one kind of revelation to get some kind of followership and traction. He's not the one revealing the things that would now make us as a country to now do what we call national prison reforms. We are a bunch of jokers, and the minister should wake up. If the minister had suspended the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, we know that he's serious, because if the minister didn't suspend the Controller General, then the president should suspend the minister, because it's a national scandal. Because we have always the next thing, Kemi Adetiba in her movie The King of Boys, expressly showed Nigerians what happened in Nigerian prisons. We had one Superman who was said to be sentenced, but he was in prison, and you saw the colors. The colors represented some form of national color. Why Kemi Adetiba is a King of Boys, and that guy was controlling things, committing crime, and then actually putting the prison.
What is that? People are going to go back and watch Kemi Adetiba's King of Boys, but let's look at this issue seriously. So, in this Bobrisky situation, it's not the first time that's happening.
No, it's a normal thing. Let's agree first of all, it's a normal thing, and the minister should first of all acknowledge that it's normal.
Hold on. On the morning show today, we had, two experts, trying to make a case for the need to have certain categories for persons of interest in a situation where you want to secure their personal, safety and the security of the prison facility itself. Are there instances, in the case of this celebrity, where this may be acceptable?
We have the Nigerian Correctional Services Act of 2019 that makes provision for such situations. Now, people who should be protected should be given some kind of special protection. Should be persons probably suffering from mental health problems, and then women. Now, apart from that, all other inmates are supposed to be equal.
Now, when you have a man who is a cross-dresser, who's presented himself as a woman over the years, and he's come to be accepted as a woman, is even referred to as a she. Do you put him in a prison where, or holding facility where men
when Bobrisky Idris Okuneye was taken to the Correctional Service Center, the first thing they did was to determine his sexuality, and they stripped him and checked him.
His gender.
His gender, I would say.
Right.
Thank you for that. And then he was checked, right?
Yeah.
Now, the problem is this, is the solicitation for bribe in order to be given some kind of VIP treatment, which is the normal process that we experience. I've seen an officer of the National Correctional Service Center being beaten up by an officer of the DSS in the court. The reason he was doing that is because the National Correctional Service officer was very excited when a VIP was being sentenced, so he was racing to go and get him. The idea is that they know among themselves that look, it is a big fish. When you get a VIP, when you get a celebrity like Bobrisky coming to prison or whatever, and then you negotiate how to give it some kind of treatment. The problem here is that there is a VIP treatment that was outside the Correctional Service Center. And again, it reminds me, recently there was a cooperative, the Nigerian Correctional Service Cooperative was announcing one big achievement by they built a luxury hotel somewhere close around to the airport road, which is somewhere also where the head office of the Nigerian Correctional Services. Right. For goodness sake. So because they've seen that it's a very lucrative business, taking care of VIP, prisoners.
So they do make provision for certain
No, not at all. There is a level of equality. But again, I agree, there is some measure of discretion on the part of the person who is managing the prison as to give certain protection to people. Who are those persons to be protected? Are those persons, do you ask the person to pay 15 million naira so that they can get special protection?
Allegedly.
And then,
Allegedly.
For goodness sake, that is what has triggered this investigation.
Now let's look at the issue of defamation, because we don't have that much time. The issue of defamation, when a person in a conversation that they believe is a private conversation that they're having with another person, right? Let's say this is a private conversation we're having, and another person now publishes this conversation, right? That could be damaging somewhat. Who really should be liable in terms of defamation?
Look, there is a defense to defamation, but what's important here is the job of a whistleblower that the fellow, the very dark man, Martins did. So first of all, let's acknowledge that. You know, the unfortunate part of it is that he didn't have to mention the name of Femi Falana, for goodness sake, when he could not verify that. And the way he mentioned it by saying that a lawyer that he once respected, a lawyer to Fela and all the kind, that was damaging and that was unnecessary because he didn't have the proof at that time. But if his intention was correctional, in the sense that he wanted to expose the dark side of Nigerian prison, the very things that Fisayo had said many years ago, since 2019, I mean, indicating that Nigerian Correctional Service is a huge joke. I mean, imagine the fact that
unintended consequences.
It is not. Look, you don't call that unintended. I think that is not fair. And to consider that there is an aspect of defamation that is criminal, I think that the Martins should actually answer to that. He could have simply said a certain prominent lawyer and not make unfortunate and unfounded allegations, especially when Mr. Femi Falana SAN has now said he has never had such kind of a conversation. And you need to know the personality of the Falana that we're talking about. For goodness sake, how much is involved? And then you need to also look at the fact that you are talking about the prerogative of mercy. Do you think it just happens because a lawyer applies? You forget that there's a committee that is set up that makes a recommendation to either the governor or the president. So this whole joke, but it's wrong. And again, come back, and I don't want to forget about this. Under the administration of this Comptroller General, between 2021 and 2024, we've had not less than 8 prison breaks, and with 4,000 inmates, most of them who are Boko Haram terrorists, and they're fleeing, escaping. So we have this kind of inefficiency in treating our inmates, and something fundamental needs to be done. So the minister needs to go beyond this idea of suspending some 2 persons who are just carrying out a norm in Nigerian Correctional Service, and then go more fundamental about it. If we are not joking as a country.
What are these fundamental reforms that need to be put in place
first of all,
to fix our correctional services?
We keep telling ourselves that we have some of the best laws, and indeed it is true. Run the correctional service according to the book. We have custodial services, services, sentencing, and non-custodial services that can be rendered by the correctional service. For goodness sake, we're talking about somebody who was supposed to be spraying money, who was supposed to be abusing naira, and we thought that the best thing that we could do as a way of correcting it was to send him to prison for 6 months, whereas other persons did not got lighter sentences, or they were even slapped in the wrist. Forgetting that somebody advised that person that please go and plead that you're guilty so that you can get this, not knowing that the man was being settled. For goodness sake, if Bobrisky were to have good counsel, right now he's a victim of the corrupt and inefficient criminal justice system of this country, and he should sue the federal government as we speak, because not only that, he was said to have solicitation to him that he should bring money so that a certain charge be dropped. Can you imagine that? And the people who are involved, whether the correctional service, whether it is the Ministry of Interior, these are the same persons who say they are conducting one form of investigation, or even the EFCC. It cannot be. These are all allegations. Whether you call them allegations or not, these are norms. These are things that have existed. And where is the ICPC here? Because we are talking principally about bribery and corruption, about the destruction of our criminal justice system, and you want the same persons who they are the perpetrators to do the investigation. I think we must stop this national joke.
Okay. It's a good place to leave it. Frank Tietie is a lawyer and a Rise analyst. Thank you, as always. And one understands why this would be a very emotional and impassioned situation. We'll keep an eye on this and see how things unfold in this saga.